What's up, everybody? Y'all already know who it is. It's your girl, Nessa Nanis, and you know we are back on the motherfucking real Ratchet Reckless. Guys, I'm really excited because you know I got another motherfucking guest, and today's guest is the one and only JQ.
Hey, what's good? What's good?
What's up? Thank you so much for just hanging out right now because we went through, y'all already know, technical difficulties as always. So thank you for being
Happens.
patient. Hey,
I know that.
before anything though, let's take a shot real quick. I feel a little stressed right now because
Let's do it.
technical difficulties. I'm like, you know what?
Let's get the edge
So
off.
I'm getting these little ratchet ones because I do have the Patron, but I don't feel like drinking Patron with Coke, and that's the only chaser I have right now. So I'm gonna do these little ratchet ones that I have.
All right.
Fireball. Oh my god, did you ever drink Fireball?
Yeah, I'm not proud of it, but yeah,
Right. I was in college. I remember like this was the drink, the cheap drunk
it
drink.
came out like really hot. It had a lot of buzz when it first came out. Everybody was
Right?
on it.
It's gross though. Fuck.
Yeah, it
All
tastes
right, where your
terrible. The
shot at?
cinnamon aftertaste,
You
fire.
right? All right, cool. So I don't know if you heard this saying, but I do it all the time. So we go para arriba, para abajo. You heard it, huh? Up,
Yeah,
down, center,
I know what time
inside.
it
All
is.
right, let's go. Para arriba, para abajo, para el centro, para dentro. Mm-mm. I didn't even
No
finish this
chasers
one.
on this side.
No, oh no, okay, okay. I thought it was mixed in there. I was like, oh, he probably got some mixed in there.
Nah, straight up.
Mm.
Oh, you doing two?
Mm-mm. It was one.
Oh, okay.
I didn't finish it. Oh, it reminds me of that bubble gum.
Yeah, the cinnamon little. I
Yeah,
hated that stuff.
that was the kill the real bad bread. Like if you bought that one, your shit was stinking.
Yup, you were gonna be fine after that.
All right, so we're just gonna jump right in, and I kind of want to let the listeners know how we know each other and how we met. If we ever really officially, did we ever really officially meet?
Ah, man, that's a good question.
I
I feel
don't
like we
think
were in the same room for a long ass time. I don't know if we officially had like a.
a little meetup, right? Like, oh, I'm so and so. So, do you want to let them know, or you want me to let them know?
You let them know. I want to hear how you tell the story.
Okay, cool. So, guys, back my days, no. So, a few years ago, it's about to be almost 10 years that I left high school, right? And I don't know if you've listened to my podcast, but I do talk about Bravo a lot, right? I bring it
You have.
up. I bring it up how it was kind of like a little culture shock for me and how I really didn't like the school. Um, and in reality, eventually I ended up liking it, right? Because
Yeah.
I met like really good friends there. Point is, I joined basketball, right? And the first thing I remember was I was trying to do dance because I used to love dancing, right, growing up. And the dances were it was a little different there. It was very different. Like I had to weigh certain pounds, and I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna cut it. Like I'm not gonna cut. I'm not gonna make the dance team, and they didn't dance like I danced. So it was slightly different. So I was like, you know what? I did basketball growing up. So I was like, you know what? Let me do basketball. I had three coaches. I had Jacob. Shout out Jacobs. Where he little ratchet ass. We gonna shout out Jacob right there. He was a shit. And he had his two, they were like assistant coach, but basically they were the coaches because Jacob will pull up once in a while. And guys, my coach, shout out to Shika and Tika, my girls. Oh my God. So Shika and Tika were our coaches. So if Jacob wasn't there, obviously he was the one that would put up to the games, but the coaches that would practice with us were your sisters, right? So Shika and Tika were your sisters, and I didn't know they even had a brother. Like I didn't even know, until you would pull up once in a while, and I was like, "Oh, who's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's like Shika and Tika's brother." And I'm like, "What the hell? I didn't even know that." But I'm sure you just remember me by being one of the little ratchets that didn't listen. Like I
Yeah, for
just,
sure. I remember you almost got in a fight one time. I remember that was my first like real memory of you stand out.
I think we're like what 3 years apart.
I'm a '08.
Oh, I'm 12. You looking real young though.
I can shave anytime and take off like 5 years too.
No,
That's
for
another trick I use.
real. You look really young. So yeah, so you're already you went to Bravo, right?
They go to Bravo,
Yeah. So
unfortunately.
yeah. But did you like it at all? Like, did it grow on you, or it never
It grew
really?
on me. It took till like my junior, senior year, but it grew on me. Like the first 2 years, I hated it. I'm not even going front.
And where'd you go to middle school, if you don't mind me asking?
I went to Hollenbeck, so
Oh, you were in the area still. Did you
I
guys
was in the
live?
area. Yeah, we lived in Boyle Heights, so we're from the
Oh
area.
shit, that's what's up. And where was everybody going after? Like Wilson, maybe?
Roosevelt and Wilson, yeah, split between the two.
And no, not for you. You had to go to Bravo.
I mean, my sisters were there. That's really why I ended up
Oh,
going
that's
there.
right.
I didn't have a big say in it, but at the end of the day, like it turned out good.
No, yeah, for real. And that's how I feel about Bravo. Like, it was annoying. I used to cry every day. I used to tell my mom, like, I don't like these people, right? I didn't like the school. It wasn't like,
You know, like the setup of the school, like there was no energy to it, like the real high school. It was just different. Yeah,
exactly. And literally, it looked like a hospital. Didn't it? It
man,
was next to the
it did
hospital.
right next to the hospital too. Yeah,
And it was just depressing. It was depressing. Like, and especially people with a lot of personality or people that want to do sports, like, we didn't have nowhere to go.
yeah. I hated it from the sports
Yeah.
aspect for sure.
So back to the story, guys. So that's how we knew of each other. I don't think we ever met because Chica and Tika, like, they were tired of us. We were high school students. I had a mouth on me.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was talking to I think it was Tika. Well, I was a little closer to Chica because Tika didn't fuck with me like that. Like, she was very like, if you not gonna do what I say, don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy now because I talk more to Tika like on Instagram. Like, I guess because now I can understand her more than when I was younger.
No, it's crazy. That's the same for me. Like even personally, like when I was younger, I was much closer to Shika,
Yeah.
and then now I spend more time with Tika. Like we bond more
Oh,
now. It's I think it's
right.
just like as you age, you kind of understand where she's coming from more.
No, for real. And Tika always had like that mother vibe, like the I'm the older sister, even though his sisters are twins, guys. And who was born
Yeah,
first?
3 minutes apart. Shika was born first, 3 minutes apart.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So yeah, Tika was like, don't fuck with Tika. And Shika, I feel like I connected more with her in high school because she'll kind of giggle at my shit, right? Like she'll laugh a little bit, like, and then I'm like, oh my god, okay, she's my friend, right? So she'll be like, Vanessa, just please, like, and she'll talk to me a lot. And I ran into letters because they were now that I look back and think, I'm like, they actually gave a fuck. And that's what's crazy that
Really
when you're a
care.
high schooler, like you think they're just getting on your nerves, like anybody, teachers, coaches. And that's why I really love Tika and Shika to this day. I have a lot of love for them. But
Yeah,
that's how I knew you anyway. Like just because you'd come, but you weren't really talkative. Like you were a little quiet, but also because I think we were younger. Like you were like, what I'm going to
yeah.
do, try to
It was
talk to high schoolers.
schoolgirl. Yeah, like it was just a weird dynamic for the age wise. So, and there's people from y'all's teams that I'm cool with now, but like at the time, yeah, it
It
was a
was
little.
like, isn't that crazy that at the time it's like nobody want to talk to the young little high schoolers, and now it's like, oh, 3 years, oh, we cool, we're around the same
Oh, yeah,
age.
yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah. So I think after that we didn't really. I think I graduated. Life went on, whatever, and then I actually remember running into you at a concert.
Yep,
It was
Harlem.
a Power 106 concert, right?
Yeah, it was.
I was like, oh
At,
my
it was in
god.
San Bernardino, right?
Oh my god, yes. It was a little. Which one was it?
Damn, I forget what show it was.
I don't. I think it was like an old school. Was it K Day? It was Power 106 or K
It
Day?
was a K Day. It was a K Day
K
actually. It
Day.
was an
So
old school
yeah, it
concert.
was an old school
You're
one.
right.
So I
Yeah,
remember seeing you because you're so tall. Number one, so you just stand
yeah. You
out.
can't really miss it. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and I recognized you and I was there. We were like, what's up? And I think that's when we exchanged info. Like, oh my God. I think that was like the first
sure.
time I had really seen you doing like big shit. Like, I just remember seeing you in a gym and then here I go to a concert and you're with Power 106. I'm like, what? So tell us a little bit about that because I was really hyped. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was with some guy at the time and I was like, you don't understand. Like, I knew him since high school and like, it's crazy because radio was something I always wanted to do. So to see someone that has been around you or that you knew, like, it feels crazy. Like, it almost makes you feel like, damn, this dream is possible. This is something I can do because people that I know are doing it.
Yeah, sure,
So tell me
for
a little
sure.
bit about that.
For me, man, I think I even caught a lot of my friends off guard with that move. Like no one saw it coming, type of thing. It was something I was working on the low, trying to make happen.
That's what's up.
But yeah, like for me, growing up, I was a basketball player my whole life. Like that's all I cared about, type of shit. I wasn't focused on anything else.
Yeah.
But as we got older, as college started finishing up, it was time was running out. I had to
Where'd you
do
go
something
for
else.
college?
Man, all over the place. I moved around. Well, because I played basketball, so I went to different schools. I transferred a couple times.
Okay.
Um, I ended up at Cal Poly Pomona. That was the last school.
Mm. That's a good school.
Yeah, it's a
And
dope
you
school.
finished?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. And what was your major?
My major was business. So I was a business major. I was into like business management, economics. I was into all that type of stuff because I wanted to know like how to run my own thing at some point in life. I know that's gonna come to me later in life,
Oh yeah, of course.
but I want to be able to handle my own stuff. I don't want to have to go out to someone else to ask them to pay them to do shit for me that I could do for myself.
That's what's up. And then that's okay. So radio, when did was it like, you know what? Radio, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, so radio is like and it's crazy because going back to Bravo, when I was a senior at Bravo, I don't know if this guy was still a teacher there when you were there, Mr. Martinez, long
Mm.
haired Indian dude. He might have left before you got there.
Oh, I he was probably there when I was a freshman. What was he?
Okay,
He was probably like the older, like the senior teachers or junior
yeah,
teachers.
he was
Was
like
he
a
on the
junior and
first or
senior.
second floor? He
First
wasn't at the
floor.
top. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. Okay, so apparently this guy was a radio guy back in his day. I never knew this until my senior year. My first period class was right next door to his,
Uh-huh.
and he like for some reason I don't know why he like recognized me. He's like, "Oh, you have like a great voice for radio. You should do radio." And I'm just like, I'm like 16, 17 at the time. I'm not thinking about this at all.
Right? Because it's like, who was talking? That's what I'm saying. Like, when radio was a thing, like, who even talked about that as a career, right?
Sure, especially at Bravo, like that was the
Exactly. It's like, you're
last
going to be a
thing.
doctor, honey. The fuck, I'm not.
You got me fucked up.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, and so
cool.
he put the seed in my head
Yeah.
wood really early. I never knew. I thought it would come around later, but I didn't know when, where, or how it was gonna happen.
Hmm.
So after college, I was like 24 probably. I started feeling like, you know what, I want to try this. I want to see what's up with this. So I knew of a college out by my house where I was living at the time, and one of the professors there is he's on K Day.
Oh, nice. Who?
So PJ Butter, he's
Hmm.
actually a college professor too on
Oh,
Martian.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
At right there at the school you're at?
yeah,
Pomona? Polly?
yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
damn. I didn't know that.
So just so happened, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a class. I'm gonna see what's up if I like this. I took the class. Me and him got cool really quick. Like I fucking loved it. It was dope as hell.
So
By
they
the end of the
actually have
semester,
held, like, they have, because some colleges don't have all that.
it's very rare, but yeah, they have like a full on
Yeah.
studio, like
And what a
the
coincidence
station
you
is on.
landed there, you know?
Yeah, it just so happened the way it was supposed to, I guess.
Hmm.
So we get cool. By the end of the semester, he tells me like, "Yo, K, they just started over their promotion department. Like they hired a new person to run it. They're gonna be hiring soon. Like you should look into it." I'm like, "Okay, dope." So I applied like that January, and it took a while. It didn't I didn't get hired until maybe like the end of the summer. It was like July when they finally called me back.
Hmm.
I go in, I interviewed, I met the people. It seemed cool. I thought I had it, and then like 3 weeks passed and nobody called back, and I was just like, "Fuck." And then so apparently they had all went on vacation at the time, the whole
Yeah.
department. So they didn't get back to me for like 3 weeks. They finally called and I was like, I was gonna take another job at the time actually.
Yeah.
I had done all my paperwork, I had signed up to start it, and then the day I was supposed to go like do my orientation, they called me and I just never went to the other spot. I was like, I'm
That's
out.
what's up. Oh my God. Were you hyped? Imagine
Yeah.
getting that call.
Yeah, I was waiting for it for weeks, you know. After a while, I'm like, damn, it might not happen. Okay, let's just stay with it. And that
Yeah.
wasn't the first place I had interviewed at. I had interviewed at a couple other stations,
Oh,
and it
nice.
didn't feel right. It didn't, you know, it wasn't the right time or whatever. But what's crazy is when I interviewed for K Day,
Yeah.
just only for K Day. The day I got there, they had bought Power 106. We were moving to the new station, so I got
It,
the experience
that's
of both of
fucking
them.
crazy. When I heard
Wow.
about that, I was kind of mind fucked. I'm like, wait, is that so and so on Power 106? Is that CC on Power 106? Like, I was tripping out. Like, I feel like a lot of people also even were like tripping, like, wait, K Day and Power 106, because you would hear the personality switch from the stations, right?
Yeah.
So what was that about? I didn't really know much about that. What is that? So they bought
So
K Day, Power 106 bought K Day.
no, K Day bought Power 106. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and nobody knows. Like everybody assumes it was Power that bought K Day because they're the bigger brand and
Yeah, it's Power
so
106.
Power's Power's head company wanted to get out of like doing radio in LA. Like they have a station in New York, Hot 97 too,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't want to stay in LA. So they've been trying to sell for a while, and then they finally found a seller. K Day's company bought it, and they brought them all under one roof, and it was chaos. Like when it first started, people from
Yeah.
Power didn't like, you know,
K.
welcoming in a whole new group of people. They had to like give up. Some people had to give up their desk and shit. It was a weird little period.
Fuck. That's fucking cool. And then it's funny because it's like personalities all over the place. Like it's people that
Yeah.
are interested. You know what I'm saying? It's radio people. So ain't nobody gonna
For
stay
sure.
quiet really. It's gonna be awkward.
There was a lot of tension early on. I could say that for sure.
Damn, that's crazy. So that's crazy that you actually went in during that whole crazy shit.
Literally, my first day was like the first day they brought everything together.
And how do you feel? Was it exactly what you expected when you started, or like how was it for you? Like you're like, because I feel like everybody has like a different. Everybody has obviously like a, what is that word? Like an expectation, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah, expectation.
vision. Like, oh, this is how it's gonna be. Was it that when you walked in on your first day?
When I first walked in, nah, it was a little different. It was I didn't expect it to be so separated. I didn't even know there was so many departments in a radio station. Like there was certain shit you had to learn that you would have never thought of. So it took me like probably like 2, 3 months to get in the groove of everything and how it worked and who was what, who ran what. And then after that, it was way above expectation afterwards. Like the experience I got, yeah,
Damn.
for sure.
That's what's up. No, yeah, I always think about that. I'm like, because when we think radio, well, what I thought radio was, like, I was young and
Yeah.
I still listen to the radio. I don't know why it's my shit. Like, I literally went to go pick up a package today at Amazon and I stay on K Day. K Day is like one of my favorites, right? Because I feel like I like when they throw it back and you're just like, oh shit, I forgot about this song, right? And it just brings
Song in the minute.
memories. I love that shit. And a lot of people don't listen to the radio anymore, but I still do. And it's funny because like I won't get out of the car. Like it was funny because
The
Eminem
song's
played.
on.
Yeah, it was. And when do you really bump? Well, I don't know about other people, but when do you really bump Eminem? And it was that I sit back and this D and this
Oh,
D and D D. And I was like, I did not want to get out the car. I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard this song. So it's funny when you think radio, like all I thought was like, damn, people just having fun, laughing on a mic. That's all you think. And just like you said, like you went in there and you're just like everything's separate. Everyone's like business. Everyone has a different department. Like people forget that there's, instead of all the fun, like there's actually shit running, like running.
a lot of shit going on. Yeah,
So
especially like what you're saying too, with the different personalities and them on stations. It was definitely a weird experience, but it was dope.
that's what's up. And I feel like sometimes like I feel like that because it's just like when you see a lot of people, especially with personality, I don't know if you can relate, but sometimes when they say like when there's just so much going on, you kind of just want to be the one that just sits back and observes because you're like, where am I gonna fit in this? Because everybody got something to say.
See, and that's how I am naturally by nature,
I
anyway.
hate
So
that about myself. I'm kind of that way too.
yeah,
It's
so it
like
allowed me to just kind of watch and see, okay, who does what, like who's important here, who can I,
observe.
yeah. And then once I figured shit out, like I was able to maneuver in there and man, I got to do so much stuff that I would have never imagined doing.
Like what? What was one of your favorites, or what's one you'll never forget?
So when Snoop Dogg got his star on the Walk of Fame,
Oh my
um,
god!
I got to go to his house to his after party. The wildest experience you'll ever
Are you
crazy.
kidding me?
I swear.
You know what's
Like
fucking crazy? People always ask, like, like if there was one person, you know how they say the whole "Who would you smoke with?" Who would
yeah,
I always think Snoop, because I'm
it
like
had
I
to
feel like
be.
he's like my neighbor. Like Snoop Dogg always gives me the vibe like it's somebody that you just knew. He don't ever act like he's too rich or too cocky. Like Snoop, are you kidding me? That's so
He's the most
dope.
regular person you would think. Like he knows he's a superstar, obviously, but he's like super regular. Like he's the coolest person you'll meet.
Damn. And how'd you find out you were going? You're just like, hey, you going? And you're just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
So the ceremony, we worked the ceremony. It was on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And that morning we did like we were out there, so we do a video when we get to whatever event we're doing. So we do a video, and you know how on Hollywood Boulevard they have like the fake Michael Jacksons, the fake Spider Mans, the
Yeah,
fake all these people.
yeah.
Okay, so one of the Spider Man, he was like super turned up that morning. So we're like, you know what? Let's go get this dude on video. So we go record a video with him. 5 minutes later, Snoop reposted. We got like 1 million views,
Oh fuck.
and that shit went crazy. Like it went in the office, it went crazy. Like it went viral basically.
Yeah, yeah,
So when
yeah.
we get back, they were like, "Well, we have to deliver an award to Snoop tonight at his after party."
Yeah.
And my boss didn't want to go, and he's like, "You know what? Like you went viral with the video today. You want to take my spot?" I'm like, what the fuck? Hell yeah! So
Oh my
imagine that
god.
like all the personalities are there. I'm the only person that's not like on the air that got to go to that thing, and
Fuck
that's just
yeah. Holy shit. And was it like really VIP? Like don't put your phone out. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm sure
nah.
like,
You could maneuver like obviously don't be in people's faces with your camera and type shit, but nah, you could mingle with everybody. You could put your phone down, record. It was dope. Like I met man, who did I meet there? I met
yeah.
like damn, I met Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there. I met Scott Storch was there. Exhibit, all kind of people that corrupt, like all kind of people that work with
Oh,
Snoop out there just
what? Well, yeah,
out
they're
there
just his
chilling
friends.
like it's a
Yeah.
regular day. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's fucking crazy. Did you feel out of body? You know when you feel like, is this shit real? Was you nervous? I'm sure you were nervous.
Yeah. When I first got in, I'm like, there's no
Did you
way.
think
Like,
about your outfit?
I
I know I talked about this, like girls are whole different, but did you really
oh
think
for
about your
sure,
outfit?
for sure, yeah. You can't go in there looking whack for sure. I thought about the outfit.
Damn, that's so dope. Shout out to you. Let me give you a little horn and a clap and all that. Cause damn. That's fucking dope. See, and that's it, and it hits different too because it's people that we kind of grew up on, right? Like it's almost like not like okay, I don't know if you idolize Snoop like that, but to me it's more about like culture, like how you grew up, like somebody you heard on the radio, somebody
Yeah.
family members were bumping that you know, I remember my dad bought his little DVD, the Up in the Smoke and all of that, and you had all these fucking artists up in that,
Yes,
and like
sir.
now you get you what? Like you at his house, you partying with him?
To actually get that experience all these years later was just crazy.
Damn. Wow. I'm like stuck on that.
Yeah, that's always the story people gravitate to when I tell them like that's the
Yeah.
one.
Who is someone that you met, and I mean it could be off record or on record just because I want to know, and it's up to you if you want to post. But like who is somebody that you met that you thought was gonna be a certain type of way and was literally the opposite?
Ooh, that's a good one. There's a few.
Because I feel like with social media, it's kind of like that. I mean, I work at the Cheesecake Factory for a lot, and there was like a lot of YouTubers and stuff, like
Okay.
known people, right? And then when you meet them, I'm like, why you acting like that? You don't act like that on, your platform. So what is somebody like someone you've met, an artist, a
Damn,
celebrity?
artist who was, you know what? Cardi B was like the quietest person in the world, and I would never expected that. Like she was super not
What?
trying to be around people that the day that she came into interview there, and because I had to be so when certain like super big stars come in, everybody can't get to them. Like they send them through a back way to come into the studios. Like
Yeah.
they block it off and everything. But all the time when that would happen, like it was me and one other person who would get to like be around it. And yeah, Cardi B was like quiet. When I say quiet, like she didn't she when she was taking pictures of people, she was just like out of it, not really caring that she's there. It was really interesting to see that.
You know, it's crazy though because Cardi, I don't know why lately has kind of because I'm a big fan of Cardi. Well, was a
Yeah.
big, well, not that I'm not, but I was a bigger fan before, right? Because I just love how crazy she was, and I feel like she was one of the first people that, like, when you're loud and crazy, like I got looked down on it growing up being loud. Like I always got in trouble for it, and I was told that I was gonna be certain kinds of things because I was so loud. So I feel like when Cardi came out, it made me feel real comfortable because I'm like, damn, like there's people actually out here that can act a hot mess and people will still fuck with it. So I like that about
Yeah, for
Cardi.
sure.
Um, but I feel like as time's been going, you can just kind of see the change. So I'm not too surprised that you said that because I'm a little butthurt. I don't know if you saw I got her merch and it was really bootleg, and I will always say that. You know what I'm saying? I was upset because it's like, bitch, so many people fuck with you, and I waited like 5 months. Like I bought a whole ass outfit that I thought I was gonna wear in the summer, and now it's too cold.
On it, yeah.
And then I'm hearing, like, I'm just meeting people now that actually are like know her, you know what I'm saying? And they share things, and I'm like, oh my God, it kind of does seem that way because sometimes when people do get like filthy rich, they kind of get irritated. Like she seems easily irritated,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
understand
sure
it.
that she's probably just tired of it, and she at the point where she don't care if you think she is stuck up or whatever, that she's not gonna smile when we say, Cardi, can we take a picture?
Yeah,
It's just life. It's
that's very
weird, but it's crazy.
especially when you get that big. Like it's hard to just live your life as a person. You're not a person anymore. You're a star. Like anywhere you go, people are trying to get pictures with you, trying to follow you around. So I get it. Some days you're just over shit. Like
I
that's not
100%
not
get that.
around.
Cause sometimes I always put myself in people's shoes. I'm like, do you really want people in your face all the time? Like, I don't even like when my sister trying to get a video of me doing I don't know what jump rope, and low key I'm like, girl, that's not my
Yeah,
angle. What are you doing? So I
right.
could
You gotta
only
look.
imagine cameras all day all over you.
You know what? That's crazy that you said that too, because I got another one. Nicki
Oh, what's
Minaj
that?
was like, she made like a really big scene like the day she came because first of all, we had to like clear out an entire studio side. Like no one could be in the hallway, no one could be around when she was coming.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to come in at 12:30. It's like 3 o'clock now. She's still not there. They've had the camera set up waiting for her for over 3 hours. She's still not there. Then she comes in and she like people were following her from outside into the building, into the lobby, and she made like a huge ass scene. Like everybody that took a picture, like she made her security go take their phones, delete the pictures, like all type of shit.
I hope you didn't get a picture, JQ. Did you? Was that you? Was one of them?
It wasn't me.
That's crazy. Because celebrities are another world, especially when you're that big, like Nikki.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Your whole journey on radio was kind of like, hey, let me try this out, and it just kind of all worked out. Is there something that you experienced that you didn't really expect, or something that threw you off about radio that it's like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? Like that you didn't really even think it was
Yeah.
a thing, but it's a thing on radio, and it kind of became like a con.
Yeah, for sure. So for DJs, you know how you think, oh, listening to the radio, you think, oh, the DJ could play whatever they want, like whenever they want to, type of thing, as long as it sounds good together.
Mm-hmm.
No. So the first time I go in the DJ room in Power 106, there's a list next to the turntables, and there's like 25 to 30 songs, and that's all they can play.
And you got to mix
So for
those and
every
all your
like,
airtime.
you have to play, and you have to mix those songs in a certain order in your airtime, and you only get like five per. So you get an A record, a B record, a C, and you have to play them in a certain order, and you have to continue to loop that. Every 15 minutes, you have to play an A record. So there's like 4 to 5 A records at a time. So let's say like Roddy Rich, The Box was a big song. Like
Mm-hmm.
every 15 minutes, you're gonna hear one of those huge songs, no matter
On the
what.
A.
And so it made it weird for me because we have some of the best DJs in the world, and you're limiting them to like a really small list of songs that they can play off of.
So, did you go more into the radio personality or DJing, or was it you had to have both?
I started off more personality. Over
Mm.
time, I learned to DJ too, but you don't technically have to have both. If you're really good at one, you can have that one. But if some people, it's better to have both if you're not so strong in one side or the other.
And which one do you prefer?
I definitely prefer hosting and personality stuff.
Yeah, because it's just a conversation. It's just like you being you, right?
You get people to
With
open to you. You're just yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. What I know one thing because I've met a few people, and what I realized was that radio was a little more scripted than what I thought it was.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait, what? Wait, what? I thought it was just people like you can go on hand, but there's actually restrictions,
Yeah,
and there's
there's
also
definitely.
timing. Like I talk a whole lot, and I'm like, wait, I got how
You
many
talk way
minutes to
can't be
say
more than
what?
like
How
yeah,
many
you can't be
seconds?
more than like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, depending on what it is, what time slot it is. Yeah. So you got to cram your shit in real quick, get in and out with your points, and then it's back to the music.
Yeah, because in
That was really
reality,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you hear
Yeah.
them, you think like everybody's just vibing, but then in reality, radio is music.
Exactly. Lots of
Yeah.
people are listening to music, so yeah, you got to. That's the number one thing for them. I could tell you the first time I saw how radio could be really like ruthless. Um, like so how people have their time slot, whatever. So radio people they sign contracts for like 2 to 3 years at a
Okay.
time, and you have to renew, yeah, whatever. You have to negotiate your salary and all of that. And sometimes when the company's not making the money they think they're gonna make, they'll make a change.
Hmm.
So like I remember seeing one time I came into work, one personality had been on vacation for like a week. They just got back. It's like January. So they just got back. They're real happy. Every Monday there's a meeting with all the personalities and the program director. So that person comes in, they go to the meeting, and then 20 minutes later, I see that person leaving the building like crying. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And so basically that person came back from vacation and they told them they don't have a job anymore. And I was like, like it happens in the snap of a finger like that. And you're just out. I also saw when Jay Cruz and them moved to Real 92.3,
Yes.
that
Oh my God,
happened
that's
like
a good
overnight type of thing.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was a
was
big
there that
deal
morning.
because were you working there when the whole Big Boy thing happened, when Big Boy moved
No, I got in like a year after Big Boy
after?
left. But I've heard the story to that too. That was a really ugly one too.
Yeah, because shortly after Cruz went over there, we're like, wait, Cruz, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because then everybody was
So the
doing a
same,
whole thing when Cruz took over kind of Power 106 morning show. Because obviously, since we've been born, it's
yeah,
been Big
everybody knows
Boy.
Big Boy since we grew up, right?
Yeah. What
Yeah,
was
that
the
was
whole Big Boy thing? You're able to talk about that?
yeah. I mean, basically they offered him more money, and it was so much he couldn't turn it down, type of thing. They wanted to start a new station to compete with Power, and so they were like hunting for big names to build the brand around. And he, I guess he got the offer. He brought it back to Power. They didn't want to give him as much, and so he decided to leave. But the thing is, when you want to leave and you're still under contract, you have to wait a certain amount of time, and he didn't want to wait. So I think when he left, he couldn't go on air right away when he got to Real because they had to let this like 30 days pass by from him to end the contract at Power to start at Real. So there's little stuff like that. But yeah, it was basically a money thing. That's all it was. That's all a lot of them are, honestly.
And you know what? And what's crazy is like, well, in reality, is Big Boy. Like you would think that Power would actually be like, okay, you know what? Like give him what he
We
deserves.
gonna make this, yeah,
Exactly, because it's like that's a reputation right there, and I think that's good for him. Like
yeah,
that's another
absolutely. I
person
don't,
that I really feel is the same. Like somebody that don't act like a fucking stuck up celebrity. As like Big Boy is somebody that I feel also that if I were ever get to the chance to meet, that he is someone that's genuine like that.
yeah,
He
not
comes
at all. I've met Big Boy a couple times too. Like he would come to our concerts all the time. He was like regularly at our concerts, kicking it backstage, talking to people. He was the coolest person you'll meet. But yeah, he still had great relationships with people there. It was just, the breakup happened, and obviously some people take it worse than others. So it was like
And what
some
happened
people
with
didn't
the
like him,
whole
but other
cruise
people,
thing too, though? Why did he end up leaving or moving over there?
man, it happened so fast. Like basically they were up to renew their contracts for his show too, and I think they probably just got a better offer over there, and they did. Because I've talked to Lechero, like I know Lechero pretty well. I talked to him personally about it, and basically he was saying like they offered us contracts that like they didn't want to match here, so we. But it happened. So look, they came to work. They did their show on like Friday, and then like they, I guess after their show, they went in and they told the program director like this is our last day, and so they had to scramble to like move. They moved CC over to Power. They put Teddy on the mornings, and they brought someone from K Day. They put them on Power too, just to like fill in until they could get a permanent morning show host. So it threw everyone off because of how
Damn.
fast it happened. And it was
Unexpected
just,
too.
yeah.
Also, people sometimes feel like people are not going anywhere. Like, oh, they're gonna be here forever. They don't ever plan for that. But it's
No,
like,
and that's the big thing. Yeah.
so what are you doing currently right now?
So I just started I'm working at a studio now. I work at a music studio. It's like recording studio, podcast studio,
All
photography. Yeah.
right. So
I'm
did you
I'm
just
running
end up
like
leaving radio, or how did that go down?
I mean I didn't end up leaving, but like when Corona hit, basically like they ended up downsizing the staff a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Like at first everybody was just like temporary hold, and then as it got later on, months and months, they just like, you know what, yeah, we gotta. So it was what it was. I'm still like super
You
tight with a
still
lot
keep
of
in
people
touch
there.
though. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, you met people, and I feel like at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's connections,
the connection as a
like
network.
the thing that you leave with people, and if they fuck with you or they don't, and that's reality. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
that's
So
all it
you
is.
literally got to be a big part of that, and that's amazing. So shout out to you. So now,
Appreciate it.
what's up? What's new with JQ?
Yeah, man, I'm working more like with artists now. I like being hands on with people and helping them make their songs, helping them, promote their shit, put it out to people, tell them what like I like learning how to DJ helped me a lot because now I can tell people what tempo like is popping on radio songs, how to get your shit sounding right. So I'm just using all the knowledge I got there, and I'm actually helping the music part of it now. Like that's my next play.
And you enjoy that right now. Like this
I,
is where you
I'm
said this
loving.
is gonna be.
Yeah, I be in the studio like damn near every other day, like just work helping my homeboys that I record music or helping at the studio that I work at, and just being around that. Yeah, that's
That's
where I'm
what's
at with it now.
up. Good shit. Good for you, JQ. I'm really happy to hear all that. Like to think like we do go like I know you from way back and to just see
Yeah.
you doing good. And then I eventually ended up following you on Instagram that one time that I saw you at the concert. And then just
Mhm.
to know that there's a whole story to it. That's fucking dope and good for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
And how
for
do
real.
you feel? Like
And
do
it's
you feel
crazy
like
because
uh-huh. Go ahead.
I never knew you were like so into radio until I ended up meeting you later, and it made perfect sense. Like now seeing it, but yeah, like it's crazy that we were able to connect in a different way than we initially met, and like
Right,
it felt
exactly. That's what I thought was crazy too, because it's like even going to Bravo, like that wasn't really an option. You feel me? Like it wasn't
right.
like, oh, who want to do it? No, no, what? And
Yeah,
I
you don't
talk
really get that.
about that. Yeah, like I didn't really know what to do. Like I kind of always knew I was gonna be good. Like, oh, I'll do something, I'll go to school, but I was
Mhm.
never interested in anything. Like school, I wasn't really interested in, and it was a big fall for me because I was kind of seeing like, well, what are you gonna do? Like if you don't like school,
No,
and
I get
you kind of feel like, well, what am I gonna do? Like for real.
well, fuck yeah.
So yeah, like when I hit like like senior year, I kind of started digging more, and I kind of feel like, dude, radio is what I want to do. Like I want to do radio, and I used to love talking, and I think that's also what I found out, that it's like, when I found out there's like certain seconds or things you gotta
Yeah,
say, you don't really, you could connect, but not that much, like talk radio. So podcasting kind of worked out for me because I love fucking talking without a limit, you know.
exactly. Yeah.
So whatever the future does hold though, I do enjoy this. That's why I thought it was so cool when I saw at the concert. I was so hyped because I hadn't met nobody. I didn't know anybody yet that was pursuing radio. You know, it's hard when you want to pursue something and you don't know who to
Don't know
ask.
anyone, and yeah, you're trying to get the information or learn about it, and you just don't know. You don't have anyone that you could hit up and just talk about it.
Exactly. Like, what is the first step? And everybody's like, yeah, internships. But then it's like, okay, what if internships don't work out? Like me being on and off for school was not a good look either, you know? Like,
Yeah, everybody told me to start with an internship, and I never did it because I felt like going in the way that I did, I felt like I would learn more. I would get more out of it.
more hands on. You were
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
more
I want
hands
to be
on.
in it. Like, yeah, teach me
Yeah,
right.
like, I don't want to go get donuts for y'all.
Exactly. And they
Yeah.
that's a real thing though. Like interns get dope experiences, but yeah,
They
you
just
still got
get
to
to
do
be
all that shit.
around it, but it's probably not as hands-on.
You're not really in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, damn, I'm so happy. I was so excited to get you on today too. I'm like, "Ooh."
I haven't really done too many of these, so this shit was fun for me. I was like, I got to do this.
Yeah. All right, let's break it down a little bit. We're gonna leave radio a little bit.
Okay.
So I have a few questions just because my little following that I have.
Mhm.
My followers are really loyal and they really get personal with me and DM me shit. And I just want to bring up a few things because sometimes I don't got all the answers and I feel like they get tired of hearing what I gotta say. So I
Sure.
like to bring guests on. So do you feel like because I feel like a lot of people are struggling with this, especially now, like how you mentioned, like, oh, you did business going to school, like you always wanted to run your own shit without having to go through anybody. And I feel like 2020/2021 has taught us that it's like, y'all, we could just get it on our own, right? But it's also, people are struggling like myself. I'm on and off like a light switch with motivation.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
do you feel, because a lot of people can relate, a lot of people can't relate, but I feel like a lot of my followers do struggle with being motivated during quarantine. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Do you feel like you've been struggling with that, or you feel like you've been doing good?
Yeah, I went through my ups and downs for sure during it. Like early on, I was cool. Like I'm naturally a person who just likes my privacy. Like I'm to myself a lot at around home, so it wasn't hard for me early. But then after a while, you start seeing the same four walls every day. You start seeing you're not around people that you used to being around. You don't get to go do things that you like to get, what I mean, get enjoyment out of. So yeah, it definitely hits you. I had waves where I was like not feeling the best. I was down. But I just tried to pick up new things to preoccupy my time or like give me something new to learn to challenge myself so that I could stay level headed because it definitely got to me for a while.
Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like, okay, well, I've been focusing on this, and it's like, now what? Now what? Because the world's kind of on pause. But I
Exactly.
like what you said, that you gotta just learn new shit. Like, people talk about, well, what are you gonna do for the rest of your life? Well, you gonna be this. Like, I also feel like it's a perfect time to like be like, nah, we humans, we got the power and
Yeah,
all of that to do a lot of things.
for
So kind
sure.
of like you saying that, like find something new that you can work out or challenge yourself. For example, my ass hopping on a jump rope that I don't do all the time, but sometimes when I do it, I notice that I do a little more jumps.
Yeah, you get more reps in and it's good.
So like challenge yourself, right? You said like try new hobbies, maybe.
Yeah,
What's
try
something you
something.
feel like you tried during quarantine?
Um, that's when I really got serious about learning how to DJ. Like I taught myself basically starting. I started like I had my stuff, but I started like really learning in like July, and I would practice every night. I would give me like a few hours a day or just something different to try to get better at because when
Right.
you have something that you're trying to improve at, it keeps your mind off of like, oh shit, I'm in the same place still, or damn, I'm still stuck in quarantine, blah blah. Like it just lets you release yourself in a different way. So I think that was really big for me. I started just reading more. I started reading more. I started doing other shit. Like I I I can't work out at home. Like that's not a thing for me. That's not fun for me. I like going somewhere else to work out. So it was hard for me to stay like
Fit,
motivated to do
working
that.
out,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it is hard. I mean, and that's the hardest part. I feel like when I've been working on a few days, like I try,
Yeah.
but the hardest part I realized was getting out the fucking house.
For
Like,
sure.
because once you're doing it, you're like, oh my God,
You're
this
like,
feels so good.
yeah.
You feel like, oh, you want to go run on the beach in a two-piece. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the worst part, the hardest part is getting out of the house, like
Yourself
out of that
started. It's
dumb
always the
routine.
hardest. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you for sharing that. So another thing that my followers and listeners have been mentioning is quarantine dating. So how do you feel like that? Do you sometimes feel like running back to old flings because that's all you know there was a relationship? Because that's also how I've been feeling. Like, damn, I don't want to go back, but it's like you don't also want to meet new people because you can't even meet, you can't even talk, you don't know them. So it's kind of sometimes you feel that pressure of like, should I hit up so and so because he knows everything about me and we can just check in and you know what I'm saying? So how has quarantine like just even just being social with people or trying to get social with new people? Because I mean, are you dating or are you seeing anybody?
I'm not. But yeah, I agree with you for sure. It's been like, you just want to have that little interaction, but you at least someone you're familiar with rather than trying to meet a whole new
Mhm.
person. Like I'm not one that does the app thing. Like that shit is weird to me. That shit, I feel like it would be too. Not that it's weird, but I feel like it
It's
would be too
weird.
much to. Okay, I've never tried it, but I feel like it would be weird doing it. Like I feel like you're gonna meet some weird people off that shit. So I rather just you stick with people you already know or you've had history with, so you can actually not have to go through that little weird phase of trying to know someone new and understand what they're about. Blah blah. Like that shit is weird. So
That shit is very weird. So,
I went on a couple dates with one person, but like that's the only time I've met a new person throughout this whole shit. Like it's really
like, you
been people
actually
here.
met them from being out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think that's the best way. That's like the old school way too. Like, you gotta think about that too. Like, how are people in the back in the days doing it? They didn't have dating apps. So
Have shit, right. You gotta figure it out.
that shit is definitely weird, but I also feel like it works out for some people. I feel like some people that are not, us being people that talk, I'm sure you love to talk and connect with people clearly. Um, it's harder for us to do app shit like that. I don't know if people can relate, like the listeners, but it's harder for people like us because there's people that like introverted and rather the phone thing through a screen. Like I said, meeting people like YouTubers or like Instagram famous people, whatever they would call them, like those people don't act the same from their phone. So a lot of people love the dating app because they can just say whatever through the phone. But I'm the type like,
Mhm.
okay, what do you mean? How was my day? I don't know you.
Right.
What do you want me to
I'm
tell you?
not
My
just
mom
about
made
to
some
tell
bomb
you
ass
what
food
I
today and
did
I
all
cooked it
day.
up. Yeah, like you don't even know my mother. You don't even
You
know
don't
what
even
I.
know that shit. Yeah.
So, do you feel like it's something you ignore? Because I feel like I try to ignore dating and talking to people by focusing on myself and doing
Oh
this shit. Like, but when I sometimes you can get tired of doing that. Like, not to say I love podcasting, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want to podcast today. And then that's
yeah.
when it hits me like,
That's when it
well, I
comes in.
can't kick it with nobody.
Yeah, for sure. That's the same for me. Like exactly the same. Yeah.
I have an uncle that calls me because he's currently locked up, but he calls me and I haven't heard no one acknowledge this in my family but him. And he's like, damn, like you must be going through it. I'm like, why? What happened? Like, I'm pretty chilling. He's like,
Cool. Yeah.
because you talk so much, Vanessa. Like, you're so social. Like, you must be going crazy. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, does anybody understand that in your family right now? Like, in the family? I'm like, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Like, I do feel like I'm going crazy sometimes.
Uh-huh. I definitely had that same little
So you
funk of
don't feel
going.
like you struggling with quarantine dating?
I mean, yeah, I'm not seeing nobody actively, so obviously, yeah. But you just gotta, I don't know. It's tough. Like I'd rather wait it out and like get back to the normal swing of dating than try to do
The
the
dating app?
internet way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary. I wouldn't recommend it, especially for people that us that like to talk and really get to know people because I feel like people
Mhm.
that like to hide behind something they're not, it works out for them. And not saying
Exactly.
that if it's working out for you, you're a fake bitch, but it's easier for people that
You can
um
say it.
you know what I'm saying? Because I know cool people that it works out for them, like it really did. But I never really met someone that's like, oh my God, like it worked out, like we're happily married.
So
Like
happy.
it's always some
Yeah.
weird shit that happened right there, you know? And it's really because a lot of weird people do go on. So then it makes you feel like a weirdo. I'm like, damn, they're gonna think I'm a weirdo too then. Damn. Like
Like,
people just
damn,
have
I
a
belong with them now. Yeah.
but that's really much and then in my podcast with Ratchet Reckless, it's really easy to keep it real during quarantine, but Ratchet, like I can't do nothing.
You
Like
can't
I
get
haven't been
the
going
yeah, you can't
out.
get those stories as much.
Yeah, so I'm out here struggling. It's really hard sometimes to stay motivated. Like I look at my brand and I'm like, oh my God, girl, you have to live up to it. But it's like we're in quarantine, So I'm just happy that you came on here to like, spice it up a little bit. I love having guests. I realize that. Like I assume people get tired of hearing my ass. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I love to have just different people. And I'm really happy because I don't think I've ever had like a radio personality or the radio journey on the fucking podcast. And like if you now you know, but I've loved radio. Like that's all I've always wanted to do. So I was kind of excited today and I really want to thank you for coming on.
No doubt. This was fun. I had a lot of fun being on here.
Do you feel like there's
I
something
miss being on podcasts like regularly. What happened?
no, continue.
Oh no, I said I just miss being on the radio regularly or on the podcast regularly, talking to people and then sharing these stories. That shit is fun to me. So
Yeah,
definitely
it's
thank you
like
for having me on too.
no, no, no. And thank you just for saying yeah, because it's cool. It's cool. Is there something you feel like you want to mention that you feel I didn't ask because I'm not like the greatest? I'm happy what you're doing though. That's cool how you like whatever you learn, like that's so dope. That sometimes people feel like they gotta get stuck. Like, oh, because you were doing this, you gotta stay in that field. But I feel like you kind of went broad. Like you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take what I learned, I'm gonna take it over here and see what it do over here.
Yep, exactly.
So
That's what you should do in life too. Like use the shit you learn as a stepping stone. So let's say you have podcast now. You want to keep interviewing people, like keep growing you, and then one day that might lead to something new for you. You just don't always stay focused on the one part of it. Let yourself see bigger picture and see opportunity that could be in another lane, but it's still doing something you love. You know what I mean?
no, yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I just like to talk. So I really want to thank you, especially during quarantine. Give me some company on here through Zoom. This is how we're going
No,
through. Some
that's
little
how we got
ratchet
to
boy
do
on
it.
the dating app was like, "Oh, so things are opening up Friday. Would you be down to hang out?" Me?
The first day out, like what?
I said me. He said Friday. They opening Friday. I was like, yeah, nah, like yeah, I
That's
got
not gonna
Zoom.
fly.
Yeah, like
Right.
all right, no. And do you feel like you gonna go out when they open?
Nah, I'm still chilling for a little while. People, man, I know some people that just never stops. Like they fucking went the whole quarantine. They were still going out. They were still like Orange County. They're never really closed, honestly. I
Yeah.
know people that live out there and they were just fucking partying it up all the time, like it was nothing.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, but at the same time, like I'm not with it. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm 100% quarantine all the fucking time. Like, I'll go out, like,
I'll step out too
yeah,
sometimes.
like I
But
step out and like do my part and wear my mask. But yeah, you're right. I've seen people at the club during this quarantine.
yeah,
And that shit is crazy. But like I said, people, the sad part is that people don't really like learn until that's how it is. Like until
yeah,
you
it's gotta
experience
hit close to home for them, and
Mhm,
then
mhm.
they'll
And if it
transition.
hasn't, then it's coming. But JQ, thank you so much for coming on. Where can my listeners find you? Where you be at? Let them know.
You can find me on all the socials at that dude JQ, ThatDudejQ. Yeah,
Ooh.
hit me up, slide in the DMs, whatever. No, I'm just playing with that. I'm just playing. No quarantine right now.
Episode JQ, thank you so much for coming on. And y'all already know who it is. It's your girl Nessa Nanas. Don't forget to let your mama know, your tia know, your abuelita know that the real, the ratchet and the reckless is where it's at. I'm signing out.